Thanks for joining us. We're still on the press, reaching you live from the nation's capital. If you're just joining us, we've just finished talking about the national dailies, and now we have a guest analyst, Habib Gajo, public affairs analyst, of course, to analyze most of the national dailies with us today. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning, Nigerians. Right? It's good to see you again. If you see us grinning here, Mr. Habib doesn't look like he's going through anything right now.
Yes, as the land is green.
The land is green.
The weather is good.
The weather is good. It's raining,
yes,
and we have fresh ministerial list that is out.
Yes.
Everybody has been assigned to their portfolios.
That's the atmosphere. They
created, right? A quick one, because I'm sure the portfolios is what is actually on the polity, on top of the news of the polity for today. I mean, it's been going on since last night. And now for these portfolios, like I said off here, I was talking about one of the that's Minister of Solid Minerals and Development. That's Dele Alake. One would expect that it would be the Minister of Information, but then I'd like to get your opinion on that. And two of them, Dele Alake and of course the former governor of Rivers State, FCT, and of course that's banter, but people are saying we're expecting lots of flyovers in the nation's capital right now. I'd like to get your overview on that before we delve into the papers.
Yeah, for the wiki to be a minister of FCT, as they used to call him when he was a Rivers State governor, governor of project. He did many flyovers, roads. He put so many infrastructures
in place.
Both state and federal works. He did it and commissioned it perfectly, and he handed over them well equipped, and it fantastic. From the River State. So when you come to FCT, people are expecting flyovers and so
all of that.
But I think we will advise him he should start from the satellite areas because the FCT is
all encompassing. It's quite metropolitans.
More especially Amak is more congested. So he should not expand all of that. With the couple of the Minister of Works, the new Minister of Works, the former Ebonyi State Governor, who also did very well.
He did fantastic with Ebonyi State.
Very fantastic. He is just like turning a local government to a big state.
A big state. Actually, a city. I mean, I went there once and it was like what I saw was great.
These are the two former governors I always appreciate. Governor Sule Lamid of Jigawa State and Dave Imahi. Because when Dutse and the capital of Ebonyi State was just like a war road, you understand, no infrastructure, nothing. You understand, they went and made it be a very big city. And now people are going there and investing. People are building hotels. People are doing plazas
and all of that,
so on. Market is booming in those states. So they have done very well. In the FCT, I will go back to the FCT. I would appreciate had it been he consider Honorable Zafania Jisalo, who is from FCT
himself,
who was a former AMAC chairman and a former House of Representatives member representing Amak and Buhari to be his co-chairman, his co-minister. They will work hand to hand. You understand?
But don't you think most of this, more of it, sorry to cut short, but don't you think most of these ministers should actually even be able to work hand in hand irrespective of their portfolios? I mean, whether we like it or not, no knowledge is lost, and you cannot possibly know everything. I mean, like you said, this man is constant with the AMAC and of course the Metropolitan and all of that. But then maybe his portfolio just feels like, oh, he would do better in another place than works in housing or FCT rather.
No, you see, Wike is a lawyer.
Yeah.
You understand? A lawyer, a former Minister of Education.
Minister of Education.
You understand? But when he was in River State, that was his state.
Yes.
You understand? He knows everywhere. He knows every local government. He knows every ward. He knows every road and schools and hospitals, yes, and so on and so forth. You understand?
Yes.
And that's what gave him the leverage to work perfectly and harmoniously with the people of River State and the native of River State and the chiefs in River State. You understand? So when you have somebody like Zafania Gisalo, who is from FCT for the first time, you understand, having that ministerial slot of FCT, he should have been a Minister of State FCT. But nonetheless, it's also good. He was a Minister of is it intergovernmental? So that was my own.
Your own take on it.
My own take on that. To Dele Alake, though he was a spokesman. He worked with the president. They are together with the president from Lagos to all over. You understand? Up to Abuja. So there is a nominee from Niger State who is also a media person and a media guru who also supersede Lake's profile. I think he's the owner of the Blueprint newspaper. So that one too is a perfect appointment. Yes.
Okay, all right. Let's take it away from the portfolios and ministerial. I'm sure we'll still get back into that. But then now the main thing on what, before I even brought you on board, I already told our viewers at home what I'd like us to focus on today. That's the NNPCL's $3 billion buffer to strengthen Naira stabilized exchange rate. That's coming from the nations. Well, every paper has the way they put it. The presidency says how the new move will boost economy. Well, and of course, we've seen Naira firms up against dollar. And now, it still says all workers demand results as Tinubu heads Petroleum Ministry, because, of course, we do not have a petroleum minister right now. And it still boils down to forex crisis with $3 billion loan. And Atiku knocks Tinubu. But then, I'd like you to explain how taking a loan has said, okay, from the Punch this morning, they've said Naira rebounds trades 850 Naira per dollar at parallel market. But then one newspaper has said the loan that was taken by NNPC was pushed into Forex, and then that is affected Naira and allowed Naira to appreciate. I would like you to shed more light on that, of course.
Yeah, you see, anytime the market is in crisis,
okay.
I used to say it's the responsibility of the Ministry of Finance and Central Bank,
okay,
as to coordinate the financial market or the financial institutions like commercial banks and other development companies. But unfortunately, the CBN has devalued Naira by introducing that floating Naira and merging all the prices. Merging all the prices is a perfect one. Okay. It's the one that will boost the Naira. The Naira will bounce back, but that policy of floating has devalued the Naira. So the devaluation effect is now hitting the Naira hard.
The Naira, okay.
You understand? So, and if you look at from what the CBN index of this June bar, at the end of the loan that
was taken.
They have taken from JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and other financial institutions abroad, put the CBN in a tight corner.
Okay.
You understand? And the money is almost 10 trillion. 10 trillion naira will deflate our foreign reserve. So definitely where you will get equivalent of 10 trillion naira, you have to borrow another money. to
okay. Let's hold that thought while we quickly take our first caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Elder Zion. Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please step away from your TV set.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Elder Zion. Thank you for calling.
Okay. Thank you. God bless you.
Amen. And you too. Please.
And bless our distinguished analyst today.
All right. Thank you, sir.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Please join in on the conversation.
You see, I give God the glory. Finally, our ministers have been made known. We welcome them. Even though we have still round holes, the square pegs, but yet we have square pegs in square holes. I thank God for Wike and Omai. They are as governors. That distinguished themselves when they were governors. They really performed. When you go to their stage, you know that they really performed.
Yes, that's correct.
That's notwithstanding. Nigeria is in a hurry. Nigeria is really in a hurry. When the military chiefs were announced, everybody was happy with them. Some said that there is spirit of lion and they tiger in them. But today we are not seeing all those things. Bandits are still killing soldiers. Bandits are still killing civilians. Bandits are devastating. Gunmen everywhere. There is no security. In Plateau State here we are. We don't sleep again. Every look at train in Plateau State is infested with herdsmen. Then, you see, to appoint somebody for a critical position is good. But for that person to perform is another thing. We want people who will perform. Even among these 40-something, those that have not been performing before, they should please, for God's sake, start to perform for the interest of this nation. And again, please, I want to ask one small question.
Okay.
For our analyst today, let me help us answer it. Why is it that any time that this position is given to somebody, his friends, his family members, they will run out to the drum and start celebrating? Why? What is the reason? This is somebody who is expected to come and serve. But people are celebrating, jubilating. Why? God bless all of you.
Amen. And you too. All right. So you have a question to answer, so we'd like to hear your answer to that.
Yeah, definitely is corruption. Is corruption and nepotism. People will run and start celebrating because their man or their person is there, so that they will get contracts, they will get favors. You understand?
Yes.
They will be appointed in some ministries and parastatals and agencies and so on. Some of them go with requests. We have seen, so even some banks are celebrating some of the ministers by advertising in newspaper and media,
congratulating the person,
congratulating them, because they are expecting big account to be in there. So automatically it's corruption and nepotism.
But do you think we can actually push that aside, whether we like it or not? Because of course I always say that it's not just the politicians that actually have a selfish interest in Nigeria. Even we as citizens, we need to do better.
Yes. You see, it happens years ago when you are appointed, when you are saddled with the responsibility, you start worrying and crying that how are you going to handle all this huge responsibility? You understand? So some are also worried that I may not be a perfect person for this job, and I was given a task to, you know, before you have been appointed, they will give you a specific area that you are going to
focus on.
Yes. So now they appoint on selfish and political
allies and loyalty.
Alliances, and if you look at the Ministry of Defense, is the substantial minister and the state minister. They are all from one zone, northwest. You understand? And also they are former governors. And they are also they are also a business people. You understand? So if you look at the need to hire experts to help them and handle the insecurity situation, because as a minister to manage insecurity is something else, because even the military, we have seen, like Elder Zion mentioned that when the service chiefs were appointed, we were all happy, and at the end of the day we now start regretting by resurgence of attacks and killing of military personnel.
Okay, let's quickly take this call. Good morning.
Beautiful morning to you, Babajide.
Good morning, SMD.
Good morning. You are on to SMD from Lagos.
All right, SMD, it's nice to hear from you.
Let me quickly appreciate KAFTAN TV for giving us this ample opportunity to say our mind, and also let me appreciate Gajo for his wonderful analysis. Let me begin with this 3 billion African Export-Import Bank and the CBN.
Okay.
It's a very good initiative, and I strongly believe if you give Gajo the whole 1 hour, they will get a lot of explanation.
Yes.
Because it's into the system, but time will not permit us to go into details. Believe me, it's a very good initiative, a very good effort, but my worry is the policy that we're going to put on ground. That is my worry, because sometimes it was the policy that complicates easy matters. You see that we have very good plan, proper plan, but in terms of implementation and the policy, at the end of the day, we complicate easy matters. And I hope and pray this time around they're going to get it right. And that is by the way. Then for the ministerial appointment issue, believe in me, that is the beauty of democracy. Everybody is entitled to his opinion.
Yeah.
But the good thing is there are some certain areas whereby expertise are meet there, especially when it comes to security. I don't know whether you understand my point.
Yeah.
Security is an agency that requires expertise, professionals, and so on and so forth. So with what we have on ground, even though we have so many challenges in the security, the appointment should not be a compensation matter. It should be. And I believe Mr. President mentioned that his appointment is going to be based on national competence. So where is the competency when it comes to security ministerial appointment with Matawale and then with Badaru? I'm not doubting their capability, their ability, but the issue is we are talking about expertise and the kind of challenges we are facing in the Northwest and the entire country when it comes to security. Look at, it was the same Matawale that we witnessed a turbaning ceremony of a printing kidnapper. Terror, serious, big, giant terrorist in his state. Today is now a state minister. So you ask yourself, are we for real? The person we know as an accountant, now today a minister of defense. Does that mean that the works of the defense, the security goes to Ribado? Is that what we are saying as a national security advisor? Are we for real? So seriously, we don't have any other thing to say, but believe in me, the national competency is not there. But I hope and pray they will get it right. But I'm worried about this position, like the health. It's okay. But look at the power. the power available. I don't know whether you get my point.
Yes.
And the governor of CBN on operation, even though he has an agency during an operation, engineering the activities of the bank. But the question is, are we for real? Are we for real? Thank you very much. I remain SMD from Lagos, and I wish you all the best.
All right, thank you, SMD, for that contribution. You've heard what I said.
Yeah, SMD has touched maybe all the news papers.
Yes.
You see, let me start from his assertion on the loan.
The loan, yes.
Like he said, the loan is okay, you understand, but the implementation, but people don't ask what did NNPC need $3 billion
for?
You understand? How did loan of NNPC boost the run of Naira and crash the forex, the dollar, yeah. 950 to 850. Do you understand how it relates? And we all know that most of the loans comes with conditions and baggages. You understand? So right now, the government need to come out and tell us the truth, that who is borrowing this money and how did this money you know, I always say that it's not a good government that will start from borrowing. It's a good government need to start from recovery. When you have a economic crisis, financial crisis, insecurity, inflation, and so on, you have to start from recovery. You understand? Yeah. So without recovery, and you start taking loan, that's the biggest blunder and the mistake of the last regime of Muhammad Buhari did, that I have listened to a former governor under Buhari, a former national chairman under Buhari's party, was saying that we inherited a bad government. They have inherited the last bad government which he participated, but now a senator. So what are they saying? You understand? So Nigerians are worried. Definitely what crashes the Naira is different from what NNPC borrowed. We will expect NNPC to say we borrowed to repair our refineries. Okay. You understand? So since NNPC is a liability company, and don't forget, last month they said that NNPC generate how many 1.something trillion, and our federal revenue allocation has risen, and the shares to and how come next another month and NNPC is borrowing more than 3 trillion or 5 trillion. There's a question mark in that place. You understand? But what crashes the dollar is different. Is the demand of the dollar is very low. You understand? Yes. And if you notice, no matter how you put the parallel market into the line, in the month of August, and we noticed that the interbank rate is higher than the parallel market. The parallel market is more even cheaper, because it's the real market, is the physical and operational market. You understand? Than the system and one of the banks. So the banks has only some windows, I and E windows, that's import and export windows, yes. You understand? So when export and import window fell, definitely the parallel market will also go down.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
But when the demand is so high, then the price will also go up.
So the higher the demand, the higher the price.
So I think the central bank did a wonderful one and push more to I&E window, so that most of them will not come to the parallel market and demand the gap. You understand? To fill in the gap. So that's what happened.
All right, let's quickly take this call. Good morning. Thank you for calling the press.
Hello, good morning, Mercy.
Good morning.
I'm Mr. Gajo.
All right, your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yeah, this is from Lagos.
Okay, all right. Join in on the conversation in 60 seconds.
Okay. First and foremost, I want to make contribution about the ministerial appointment.
All right, go ahead.
You see, yes. You see, in this country, we often blame anyone that is Mr. President. Okay, but we fail to understand and remember that we have National Assembly itself. Now, look at the ministers that have been appointed. I don't want to go into their portfolio. Some of them, most of them merit it, while some, I'm still thinking about it. But that's notwithstanding. But where the problem will actually come is a place whereby the ministers will have an avenue to do their work proper. What am I driving at? The National Assembly, I'm not trying to accuse anybody, but you and I, we could remember off your mic, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know? So, will the National Assembly themselves give the ministers that avenue to do the work that they are supposed to do without demanding for bribe? Let's say it clearly, because even though we don't see, but we know things like that happens. Because ministers could be threatened, you understand, if they do not drop certain things. You understand? I didn't accuse anybody before anyone would say I accuse them, but we know things like this are happening. So what can Nigerians do? Where is our power of recall as individuals? I heard you message saying that even us,
as citizens, yeah, we need to do better. Yes, that's correct.
So where is our power of recall? Why can't we reactivate it and recall back these people that are not well represented us? That is that on that aspect. For the ministers to function very well, definitely National Assembly have to cooperate with them, not by threatening them. That is one mark there. Then, about the issue of security, well, I pray for Badaru. I know he's a calm person. I just pray that he's capable of doing something great. But we have a problem in Nigeria. You see, you cannot allow some ethnic group in this particular country to have access to weapons like guns and other things like that in the name of protecting their business or whatever, and also harass others when they have it. So the best thing now is this. Look, we have problem in our custom. What am I saying? Importation. You know, during this importation, illegal weapons are being imported to this country. A question should be asked, who is the Control General of Customs? Should come and account for it. When immigration, when you have aliens coming into Nigeria, how do they get into this country? So if we don't get all these things right, I'm telling you, we're just wasting our time. And the issue of fuel price or no whatever, our refinery has to be brought back. And if we are afraid of the smugglers, the government just have to function. So whoever smuggle, like I said the other time, a capital punishment can never work. There must be a kind of iron hand. That is just the fact. If we don't do that, we're just wasting our time. God bless Nigeria. God bless everyone. Thank you, Mercy, and thank you, Captain.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that. You've heard what he said. I'd like you to go first before I say what I want to say.
Honorable, off your mic.
Yes.
Off the mic, Honorable. So, like you rightly mentioned, and I was building on what SMB has said. You understand? In terms of security, you understand?
Yes.
Despite that, like I said, all of them are business people, join politics. You understand? So they need to hire or to find expert on security and national security, and even community and social security is very important. You understand? Secondly, the Minister of Finance, I think the Minister of Finance and is the coordinating minister. Now we have a coordinating minister, and we have a Minister of Economy again, budget planning and economy. You understand? One beauty and one good thing about this Tinubu ministerial this thing, we have seen a new design ministries. You understand? Like agriculture, we now have a Minister of Agric and Food.
Yeah.
You have a Minister of Agric and Food Security. You understand? What normally in advanced countries in all over the world, they have Minister of Agriculture and they have Minister or Secretaries of Food and Nutrition. You understand? That's food security. You understand? That reduces hunger, because that's give the citizen the country a security, because it's a hungry man.
He's an angry man.
He's an angry man. Idle man is the devil workshop. You understand?
Yeah, that's
so creating that ministry, I commend the President Bola Tinubu for doing that. Ministry of Power and Energy, that one also has been restructured. You understand? Being a Minister of Petroleum, to like some newspapers assert, because he has not mentioned himself as a Minister of Petroleum, but the way they assert that in order to pay salaries, to settle salaries and subsidies, now the subsidy is back again through the back door. So,
no, he actually said it yesterday. I think most of the papers took it yesterday. He said he's going to actually introduce not full subsidy, but some form of subsidy. But then we had a guest yesterday that said something about, I think it was Kenya that took away full subsidy and they had to restore it because, of course, there were hardships. But then are we looking at having a total restoration of the full subsidy? Because what we're trying to curb in the first place, wouldn't it happen again?
Yeah, you know, the removal of the subsidy has already backfired. The aim of removing the subsidy has taken by event, because we have seen people suffering. We have seen, you just imagine in June, your full tank is 15,000. In July is 35,000, and in August it will be 55. It doesn't make sense in 1 year. So it gives people more concern. If you look at the hike in foodstuffs, like maize, corn, rice, yam, and so on, and all is caused by the removal of the subsidy. You understand? So the removal of the subsidy has backfired, and the devaluation of the naira or floating of the naira has also backfired. So definitely government need to go back to drawing board. They have to bring back subsidy to manage the economy first.
But do you think they should bring back full subsidy or just subsidize it?
Some countries are doing it.
Okay.
You understand? You remove subsidy, you don't have a plan on ground. So definitely it will hit your economy, and it will bite your economy harder and harder. That's what happened to Nigeria. And that's what happened to Kenya.
But you know, when this whole subsidy thing happened, I said Nigeria is known for what the law of gravity does not apply to Nigeria.
Yes.
Whatever goes up does not come down. So now, even if subsidy, we actually get the first subsidized eventually, do you actually think that would even affect the price to start with?
Yeah, it's two sectors that that was affected. You understand? The sectors that were affected is transportation. The second sector that was affected was the trade and investment.
Investment, yes.
You understand? So you have to take care of those. If you remove the subsidy, if you backtrack and you take care of the means of the transportation, you understand? You boost the agriculture and you boost the other investment, because money has to come to Nigeria. And money has to go out to Nigeria. You understand? So you need those investors that promise the president to devalue naira and to remove subsidy, has failed to come to Nigeria, has failed to bring investment, has failed to even appreciate Nigeria for doing that by like International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and so on. They were telling us we have to take loan to support. You understand? Even the 8,000 naira that were promised to Nigerians, the whole thing died.
Yes. But you know, there was lots of back and forth, and now they've said, oh, they are going to appoint governors to do that.
So that means that policy has collapsed. The policy of removing the subsidy and the palliative has collapsed.
But do you actually think policies are actually the problem in Nigeria, or rather the implementations?
The policy making and the decision making. Because when we said implementation, is a decision making. We should not shy away. The language is very clear. You understand? Decision making is the implementation. Today, if a president or a politician wants the agriculture to be Nigeria to be a hub of agriculture, you understand? In Africa.
In Africa, yeah.
All our homes will be farms. Our farms will be our own investment. You understand? The insecurity inside our farms and will disappear. Our rivers will flow. You understand? We will have dry season and rainy season farming. You understand? You have agricultural equipment, mechanized farmings, and so on. So everything will go down. You understand? When you put up the refineries, you allow modular refineries. You understand? And the refineries, you put out, you said, okay, we are producing 20-30 million fuel in Nigeria. It takes care of many small scale and transportation and other businesses. You understand? It also, price will go down when you take care of electricity. You understand? You push electricity, you generate more electricity, and you will have a fantastic consumption of the electricity. So things will normalize. When you put up the roads, fix the bridges, transportation will be okay. You put up the railway and so on, things will be normal. You understand? But when a politician decides to play a politics with the policies of the government, it doesn't work. You understand? It always goes the way the last caller was saying, that the National Assembly will oversee those. National Assembly don't need to oversee those ministries.
But
they go for oversight function. You understand? They don't oversee them. They go for oversight function. When you the way you have oversight function is, for example, now a road or a railway, a road was awarded from so-so state to so-so state. You understand?
Yes.
And that road was not completed as agreed. You understand? Definitely the National Assembly will go for oversight function and ask the contractors, ask the minister, ask who is in charge, what is happening. ask finance minister, what is happening? Haven't you paid them? What happened? They have been paid. Why you didn't finish the work? You understand? From there, they will, it's an investigative oversight. You understand? They will now come out with the report, and they will give the executive and the security agencies. You understand? If there is corruption that stopped it, or if there is another maybe natural disaster that stopped it, so sometimes, you see, that is why sometimes I like giving example of Obasanjo. Yeah. Obasanjo was a president who had his own policy and decision at the same time. He's giving you, minister, he is telling you what you are going to do. You understand?
But do you actually think they actually need to, as we round up, do you actually think they need to actually specify? I mean, you are Ministry of Works, you are a Minister of Works, I beg your pardon, or you are into transport and this thing. I feel it's just common logic for you to actually know. Or do you think the president needs to sit them down and say, let me explain why I put you here and give you targets?
That's what the president needs to do.
Okay.
You understand? It's not for people nominating ministers like we have seen in the last administration of Buhari. It's former president, former ministers, emirs, kings, obas, and the governors that are the one that nominated the ministers of Buhari. Okay. So that is where these ministers, Tinubu need to sit with them, set a goal and a target. You understand? This is my policy. This is what I want to achieve in the next 2 years. If you didn't meet my target, I will remove you, and I will replace you with somebody. And in the next 4 years, before election come, I have achieved this my goal. All right. You understand? That's a standard. That's what is happening to all government all over the world.
All right. Thank you very much, Habib Gajo. It's been an insightful one today. I love the fact that you are here to actually analyze and talk about most of these things. All right. Thank you. It will be nice to see you once again when we, of course, talk about most of the national dailies.
You are welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, our viewers at home. This is where we draw the curtains for the press today. Thank you for staying tuned, and thank you for calling in, of course, to join in and join in and make your contributions. I remain Messi Babajide. See you on the press, same time, same station tomorrow. Bye.